Check. Mic check. 1, 2.
Yo, is this thing on or what?
What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Platform Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Dex, and today we are back sitting down, two DJs that happen to live together. They may or may not argue a lot when they're at home. We're sitting down with Mo and Reese.
What's up, guys?
What's up, guys?
First, let's get into it and let you guys introduce yourself. So, Reese, go ahead, start it up. Let us know where you're from and how you got into DJing.
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Reese Stradley. I'm born and raised here, actually, about 3 miles away from here. Lived in Middle Tennessee my entire life. It's been one of those places every time I try to leave, there's something new popping up here. And in the entertainment and hospitality world, it's hard to find. And, I mean, it's something that I feel like a lot of us are trying to curate in this city and push, more of our art and creativeness alongside the live music and the stuff that exists here. So we're finally getting that opportunity. But I have a deep hospitality background, raised in a family restaurant business. DJing, I went to a festival in 2013. Tomorrow World was my first one. Fell head over first, and it just snowballed, never stopped. It started as a hobby. I just love playing music.
Yeah.
And it rolled over into an opportunity that I was able to capitalize on and just continued working at it, preparing and ending up. I mean, it's a great life. So it's something we're all happy to do and work for. So keep doing it.
Nice. Who was the people that you were seeing at the first fest? Which one did you go to?
Tomorrow World in Atlanta.
In Atlanta. Okay,
Yeah,
I was
so
like, I figured
they ran at 13, 14, 15, and then 15 was the year it got rained out, and it was absolutely, all the lawsuits, everything.
Yeah.
They told people not to come. They still came. But we camped that year. That was my actual favorite year because by Sunday, it was like the Chainsmokers, Tiesto in 2015. But the only people that were at this 250,000 person festival at the time were the people that were there through the rain. Like it was almost like the purists that wanted to be there, and you could really feel that. So that was a really special moment. And I think that's the year I started getting more into the DJing outside of the business aspect.
Yeah.
So it was, it's Alesso's heavily influenced. Never really got to see Avicii.
Apparently Luna's not an Alesso fan. Yeah.
But I think we'll talk about it, but 2013 Progressive House is something special, I think, to a lot of us.
Yeah.
So
That's stuff that you can still always get into, and it's just the classics that still go off 10 years later.
And it's that sound, like you hear that sound, I think anyone who's been around enough will be that time frame of, 2012, 2014. That's golden age of Progressive House.
Yeah.
So
What about you, Mo?
Mohammed Joda, born and raised in New Orleans, Louisiana. Moved to Memphis for school and went to the University of Memphis. Then I moved here to get a job with Nashville Preds. That was a cool job, and then kind of fell in love with the DJing scene here in Nashville. I was DJing already in Memphis a little bit for mostly like college bars and fraternity sorority parties, but I really didn't see it take off until I actually moved to Nashville and had to get ready for a bigger challenge, if that makes sense.
Yeah. You were just DJing just a little bit prior?
I was working at Buffalo Wild Wings, and that's my main income, and just DJing just random like college parties, college bars and stuff, and didn't know what was going to happen until I moved to Nashville.
So how'd you kind of get your foot in the door once you got here?
Honestly, it was just me being in a new city, me going out almost every night, meeting new guys, new people, just introduce myself to everybody and trying to wait my turn until it was my time to DJ.
Yeah, because that's something I've touched on before, where moving here is something that's a little bit different. And especially with how things are done here, where even if you are going out every night, you're not necessarily meeting the bookers of places because of them being booked by agencies. So it makes it a little bit harder to get your foot in the door because it's not necessarily like those managers and owners, even if they're coming out to other bars that you could possibly be playing at other bars and they're hearing you,
they still
aren't. Yeah, exactly. So it definitely makes it a little bit more difficult to get your foot in the door at venues, and especially at the venues that are more popular that that you want to be at. So it's,
well, I think for me being here and seeing it grow, I mean, the super bar scene started 2014, 15, Acme, Valentine, Crazy Town, which is now Miranda Lambert's. Then you had the FGL pop up, which obviously is going to go through some type of rebranding soon due to the artists. And I mean, a lot of people compare it, as I've heard the last few years, as to an older Vegas 10, 15 years ago, which I can see, but it's still something new we're learning to develop with. And our social scene is also very transplant based. So it's a social scene that's developing with people coming from all out of town, all different likes, all different interests, backgrounds, you name it. I mean, so it's also, I think it's harder to break into because you're trying to figure out what's new, what's real, what's the authentic side of Nashville. Whereas like what's coming in here trying to make it, you know, and there's just a big difference in that. So I mean, like the TC guys, like a bunch of them came down from Michigan, and then but a lot of them I've heard about coming through PCB, you know. So like they made some rounds
because they have like other places there or what?
No, that was just like the movement they kind of did in their career. So those are DJs who made their way here, but they've also been here for years at this point.
Gotcha.
These are the guys that did open the TC
Yeah.
groups like that. So it's just, I think it's just still such a young and developing scene, but also being on the electronic side of things, I was like doing some street team stuff with Ultimo, which is like an affiliate of Disco Donnie. So Limelight, which is across from Titan Stadium, used to be a main venue. 12th and Porter, Anthem, that's used to be the block parties. And then, of course, Headquarters, they tore down, used to be Scene.
Yeah.
And we just don't have those venues anymore. But also, we were a very bass music heavy scene. And bass music, you know, everyone likes to party, but like house music likes to party and drink. So the business makes a little bit more money. It's a little bit more welcoming on the ears and, you know, the business owners.
Yeah.
So it's just, I think it's about learning and evolving. But also, you've been here long enough. You've been here. It's a live music first town. So we've had to learn how to survive, but also learn how to grow with that adversity.
Yeah, it's hard to explain that to like some of my friends too, where they think of Nashville as such like a country-based city, when there is a lot of obviously other music besides just country. And obviously, even with it being band heavy, like you're gonna see a band at every single venue. There's still a lot of opportunities for DJs, and there's a lot of opportunities to hear other music than country. Even though it's a very country-centered city, it's still music city. And
that's
you're still
my favorite saying is we're music city. We're not country music city.
Yeah.
And that's just because like I grew up and my family had a restaurant on Music Row, and I mean that was in the 90s, and I've heard it so many times. Like I still love and respect part of it, but parts of it aren't for me. And I know the communities in this city that revolve around other genres of music are very passionate about their music as well.
But it doesn't
one.
help when most of the bars and clubs are named after
country artists,
artists and everything.
And I think that's a change we'll start to see is kind of Broadway's going to take over that second. It's going to be the country superstar. And then as you get closer to second, it might turn more clubby and more just broad music.
with like Bottle Blonde and Barstool. Yeah.
And then Riot's building another one down there. But also you had like Famous was bought out. Like, and that's rumors are some like no one knows, but how quick that happens, you can only hope it's someone as promising as the forward progression's been in the short amount of time, you know? Like,
I heard that they had like an NDA and can't name who bought it.
It was very quick.
But that's why I'm like,
Really?
if it's something like that where it's that serious, it's got to be.
Yeah, and that's what we need though is like something different. Like, who wants an NDA if you're bringing the same concept that already exists? So like an NDA is something exciting for a lot of us. You know?
So we'll see what that ends up being. And I think that's a good location too, where it's not necessarily a spot on Broadway, but they're right off of Broadway. They have a sick rooftop that overlooks the entire river, the stadium, everything.
Well, and then what's the big one? Wild Horse just, did you see on, they're planning a whole rooftop edition, another rooftop floor with another overview rooftop on top. So Wild Horse is going to build up on top of their traditional building. And of course, I mean, that's where the bombing happened. So if you go any more north on Broadway right there or on 2nd Avenue right there, all that stuff's going to have to be something new in the next 5 years.
Yeah.
You know? And it's
crazy because we were just talking about that last night. because Maddie just really like didn't know a lot about it, and I knew that it happened, but didn't know a lot of the details about it. But then still knowing that places haven't necessarily gotten 100% fixed from that, and that was 3 years ago now.
Oh.
And yeah, it's kind of just crazy to think that they're still rebuilding from a lot of that happened.
Yeah. And it's almost like, I mean, surely a lot of it's recovery and developing the next direction because it was all historic, and clearly now it's not going to be historic anymore. But Nashville's also, you look at the skyline by skyline, how incredibly different it is, or just different parts of the town. Districts are trying to change. You know, you hear about moving out of Midtown, and Midtown's getting pushback from the people that live in Midtown. But it's an entertainment district.
Yeah, I mean, we could talk about that too with Whiskey Jam, like leaving Midtown. That's obviously, I'm assuming what you're alluding to is.
Yeah, but I just think it's going to be, because we were dealing with it during COVID, where those, and I think Whiskey Jam was very welcome there because it is a heart and soul. But COVID, I mean, it just seemed like the people were moving into the condos and calling for like sound ordinance violations at 11:15 p.m. when you look out your window and there's a nightlife venue.
Is one of the biggest things that pisses me off. It happens in Milwaukee. There's obviously like this strip of bars on Water Street is like right along the river, and then they built different condos and stuff alongside all those bars that have been there for 20, 30 years. The people that move into those condos then bitch about noise ordinances, and
you're in an entertainment district.
Yeah, and then it fucks over the bars. Like the bars somehow get in trouble. It's like you knew what you're moving into.
Well, I made a joke yesterday, like, why do you think your building's named Rhythm?
Yeah.
Or like something like that. Or music, like, why is it named after a music reference?
Yep. Where you should be expecting.
You live on Music Row is one side and an entertainment district is another.
But yeah, I think for me, like I saw a lot of the comments and stuff on like Whiskey Jam moving, and I'm like, why are you guys bitching about like? I'm like it's a growing event. I mean, business event, everything, and it's just a small venue. Like they need to move to a bigger venue.
Well, I think it puts something original on Broadway. You know, because a lot of us, like obviously DJs, like. I'm not big on producing. I don't get a lot of time to, but we have a lot of friends that do.
Yeah.
And very rarely do they get to push their own stuff unless it's edits. Like, we all make edits and get to push our edits. But like any originals, it's really hard because you deal with those requests, but the whole time our job is to keep the company happy and keep their brand image exactly what they're expecting to present to these customers who are coming from all around the world now to, walk into a superstar branded business. So that's a balance thing we've all had to deal with.
Yeah.
It's but Whiskey Jam for me, that's something original. Is going to keep growing because I think it's from the heart, it's core for everybody. And Nashville's constantly changing and evolving, and if you don't evolve, you die. So I'd rather Nashville be at the center of the entertainment and music business in 10 years than kind of just mediocre, if you ask me.
And I'm definitely not mad about it going to Whiskey Row, which is
Right.
a perfect venue for it.
Like I told him, I was like, why keep it in Midtown when it's all locals, when you can go to Broadway and it's all tourists that are not going to be the same people you see next week. It's going to be a different.
The locals are still going to be there.
Yeah.
That's why people are like bitching about like going down. I'm like, it's not hard to go down to Broadway.
It's
Like
a 5-minute scooter ride.
yeah.
Like Broadway, I get it because I've lived here. Broadway for a while was like, what is going on? Like, why is Nashville becoming this? And everyone was like, I don't want it here. But now it's become such a spectacle. It's like going to a carnival.
Yeah.
Like you go to a carnival every year. Like, I mean, it's like people watching at Walmart. We get the same entertainment value on working on Broadway. Like, yeah, it's a headache. Oh, I don't want to go to Broadway today. But like,
You can do some serious people watching.
you can get away with a lot now.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a whole new world. And in the entertainment industry, it's exactly what we need.
I think the only thing that worries me with them moving there is like the parking lot parties, where for them to kind of to do those events, which I think are so special, and bring in a lot of those bigger names, it's just going to be a lot harder for them to get a permit to shut down the entire street
set it
for
up.
those nights.
Yeah.
Which I still think that they'll somehow do,
They did it last week, I thought. What was the
Well, they did it for like the SEC
They did it
game.
for the SEC
yeah,
games.
for
And then,
Tennessee.
of course, I think Tootsie's is having their birthday
Yeah,
party
that's
this
15th.
week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's grown so much, and it's going to keep growing that that has become an event that Nashville would accept closing down a city block for a big whiskey jam party.
Which I think would be awesome
Right.
to do if they're going to do that every 3 months or however
Let's be
often
real.
they do
How
it.
busy is like
On a
Broadway
Monday?
night?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is also what I was like looking at. I'm like, people are bitching about going downtown on a Monday.
There's
like
6 cars sometimes on
Yeah.
Broadway. Yeah. It's,
Yeah. But yeah, if they can do that on Broadway too, like that's just a sick fucking event to happen. And I feel like more artists will come just like pop up to that too.
Yeah.
Which is just free music for locals and tourists that are going to come there. And I feel like Ward does a really good job with bringing in obviously
it's
super
all
talented
passion.
guests.
Every
Yeah.
single thing that comes there is passion.
Yeah.
And people recognize it. I mean, I have some friends I work with, and they'll have friends come in from out of town, and it's, what does there do? Well, Monday you need to go see a whiskey jam just to see it. Like, just to
Every single
experience
time.
it.
That's what I tell my friends
it
too,
always
yeah.
comes up. So, and I think that's somebody I know that does it. Somebody that 50% of the city does it. So
Yeah.
that's going to keep growing. That's not going to stop. And the good thing is, like, we have multiple events happening like that. But Broadway's also developed this name where, I mean, Sonny Fedora, he's a house artist from Australia. He was here for Deep Tropics, and he had heard about what Broadway was. And like Hayden James and like those people were talking about, like, do I want to go see it? Like, is it like, and this is before they have a show. Like, after they get done playing, before they play an after party, like,
I mean,
want to go see
Diplo
Broadway.
did the same thing too.
Yeah.
When he's here for CMAs, he literally stopped into Ernest Tubbs and like just went and hung out with the workers inside there.
Like, working down there, it's not really about like, is there going to be anyone in there today? It's who's coming in today. Like, that's kind of how Broadway is. But also, Nashville's always been like an LA of the East. So I think a lot of people here just know they're people. Don't bother them. Like, they're having fun. They're here to see it and enjoy
Yeah.
it the way we are. So I think it's a very Southern comfort home, Southern hospitality town.
What kind of interactions have you guys had with artists and like celebrities and stuff in Nashville?
Oh, let's see.
Red Door one night. I didn't know Cole Wessel was in there. And I was like, hey, bro, you look familiar. And I thought he was from Memphis. And nope, he's from Texas.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That was
I mean, again, that's another person that's literally on Diplo's album. Sitting on
Starting
Diplo's
the show.
album with Kodak Black
Yeah.
too, where it's
Yep.
like they're blending genres with Diplo.
Yeah, Co.
Yeah, so
I mean, Co sells out every show he comes through here. So, let's see. Dirks, actually. So the day Whiskey Jam was announced, I've gotten back into golf a lot recently. I was at McCabe, and him and his son were right behind me in the driving range, and I was just like, wow, cool. And I mean, I'm not usually going to go up and say anything to him, but I do play his venue every week, so I just went up and talked to him. First thing we talked about was Whiskey Jam and his
Yeah.
excitement. So, like, that was a very genuine, cool thing.
was that the first time you met him?
Yeah, well, yeah, in that setting. Like, I've always
Yeah.
been around him because of managing, and he'd come in and shoot something for USA Today at Whiskey Row when I worked
Okay.
there and stuff like that. But it's that was like kind of the first real interaction, and it was just like, I mean, I was nervous, and I don't really get nervous around people. I think I was more nervous because I feel like he's kind of a boss
Yeah.
for me. But like, it was just like, that's just how the town is. I mean, our restaurant, they're just everywhere, and like all these. But it's weird because all these people are songwriters, and you hang out with them, and you don't know what they wrote, and then you're like, oh, okay. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
that's a part that I never really thought about prior to moving here, and then like learning all the different writers sessions and things like that. You hear more about like, oh, they have writing credits on this song. Oh, they wrote specifically this song. Like we were at Tin Roof, and the guy that was singing on stage, who it's fucked up, I forgot his name already, but he's the one that wrote Bailey Zimmerman's "Rockin' a Hard Place."
yeah.
And-
It's like it's that all the time.
Yeah, he said it's just like Bailey ended up hearing it and was like, "Yo, can I take this song?" And you obviously like
Turned it into
sell the
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy. But like Dirks was the first artist that I really met here when I was working at Apple. He came into the Apple store. The nicest fucking guy.
The only reason I knew it was him was because the day before I saw a picture of him and Jordan Davis.
Yeah,
I
Jordan
think,
Davis, yeah.
And they were playing pickleball, and I looked at Dirks's high black socks and
Yep.
his shoes, And that's what I saw at the golf course.
He's wearing the same thing at
I'm
Apple.
pretty sure that's him.
He rides bikes a lot, like his motorcycle, but then he'll ride like trail bikes all the time too. But he came into Apple, and I was like, Dirks, what's like? I was standing at the front of the store. I'm like, Dirks, what's going on, man? And he literally went out of his way to introduce himself, to ask my name, and then just like shot the shit with me.
Oh, I mean, it was immediately like he was very interested in what I did and like what time I played and what day I played at Whiskey Row. Like it was really cool.
And this was all like prior to me playing at Whiskey Row, so I like made a joke. I was like, yeah, it was probably 2-3 months after I moved here, and I was like, yeah, like I just moved here from Milwaukee.
That's how a lot of them are. There. Like, and they keep that people talk about them moving here. Like it's Ryan Reynolds one week and like another one a different week.
Like made a joke. I was like, yeah, I'm trying to play at your venue. And then, but yeah, he ended up coming in like a week later because they were just about to do a drop, and he was going to buy something. And I was like, don't buy it. Like they're literally about to announce new stuff tomorrow. So he's like, really? He's like, I would have just bought it today. Like had no idea.
Yeah.
Came back in like the next week, came back up to me, like remembered my name. And he's like, where are you from again? Chicago? And I was like, Milwaukee. And he's like, and I like was blown away that he like, to think of somebody who's that famous and takes the time to like go out of their way to ask you your name and then to remember it too. I was like, damn, this dude is for real, just like that genuine.
And that's what's cool. So like, I mean, I've had interactions with like the chain smokers like that, like, and then Sonny, of course. It's just in like Dub Vision, Victor, and Steven. Those guys are amazing. Like, I think people like that at the top and their personalities and how genuine and humble they can be give you hope that everything in the industry is going to be okay. Like it's working a way it's supposed to. Yeah, it's not that well oiled of a machine at times, but like seeing people at the top like that do act like that and are like human towards other people, especially that they know care about the space. Like that's a very big deal.
I'm not gonna lie, I was surprised when I got to play for Nelly. How he was just chilling laid back. Got done playing with him around 2:30. He asked me to play downstairs for 3 more hours, and we were just shooting the shit with each other. He's just a normal human being.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, I opened for Waka once, and he just poured Jaeger down my throat. But that was
Waka parties.
Yeah. And he's, 7 foot tall, so he's a little bit demanding when he's like, open your mouth. I mean, that sounds wrong.
Yeah. Pause. Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah. No, because he was just here in Nashville.
I was like 22. I was 25 or 6. I was younger and just had started DJing when this happened.
I remember just like waking up in the morning. I was going through Instagram stories, and Darren had Instagram of him at Tin Roof, and Waka's just like walking around.
That's right. Yeah,
just hanging out,
just literally walking around the club.
I think that's like why we're all used to it here. So like when you ask that question, it takes me a second to go over it, and I don't want it to seem like we are lucky that we get like. They're just people, though. So, like, they want to go out. They want to be social the same way that we are. So, it's not anything different.
Like, we would see so many people at the Apple store where it just got to the point where I just, like, wasn't shocked anymore. I was like, oh. I'm like, all right, cool. That's Cole Swindell. That's Cheryl Crow. Like, I'm like, all right.
Yeah. I mean, our restaurant, Jamie Buffett, was our first customer ever. Just happened to walk in at lunch. This was, like, 92 or 94. Yeah, really. Yeah. And what else happened? I mean, Keith Anderson used to be a waiter there, I think. But also my grandpa was the bartender at the time, but he came to this city to be a promoter and producer for Sony and Universal. So like he was very involved with the space. And then Music Row back in the 90s was shining, glowy, everything. And now everything's in high rises spread out. It's kind of trying to make its way back there. But it's the city just keeps growing and keeps producing more talent like over and over again. So it's exciting to see it not stop. It is. I think it's underrated, but it's not. It's not like it's underrated based on the scale it is and the market it is. You know, from where we're coming from and where we're heading to. So like,
I mean, the amount of talent that's here is
across every space.
Yeah.
Like Christian McFall, one of my great friends. Over COVID, he was like, "Oh, I want to learn visuals." Now he's like one of Dom's touring VJs.
Yeah.
Like 3 years. Like, there's people that can sit down and do that instantly, and he's not the only one I know capable of it. Like, I know you know dozens. We work with dozens every single week. Like, the products these people put out are national level products, and it's just about like finding your way for them to be displayed as such, you know. So,
well, let's talk about 2 roommates. How long have you guys been living together?
Since October?
A year. So we're on a year.
Okay.
We're just about to go into year 2.
Yeah.
Lease re-signed? Are we staying together? Are we breaking
Kind
up?
of. We haven't really mentioned anything to
We
the
just said we're
landlord
gonna
because it's
wing it.
just running out. But he knows I stay more than 1 year, so like we'll just run month to month. But we're not leaving. Like,
Yeah.
He's a great landlord. I mean, I saw him once. Our air went out. I
I've seen him once in a year. Yeah. He's a great landlord. I've only seen him once. Yeah.
Isn't that what makes a great
Yeah.
landlord?
Like, he doesn't bug us. He
But
doesn't bother
us
us.
also,
Yeah.
like we moved in, we hung blinds, we took care of the house. So I think he's respected us enough to leave us alone.
I can't leave the house because I have a game room upstairs. Like, that's like the best part of the house.
So you're already all, yeah.
Yeah. The projector was the first priority in this house
Yeah.
for Mo. And it's full, like, we spent $300-$400 on the correct paint to paint the wall.
It was like a
And
whole
now,
screen on there.
Now every room can be blacked out, every window, and Mo just goes and loses days in there. It's fun.
I mean, moving just fucking sucks, but especially when you have like,
There's couches up there
fuck
that we
those
are
couches.
taking an axe to. Like,
Fuck
we got
those
them up the
couches.
stairs, and there's no way they're getting down without being in pieces.
you're just not even going to deal with
Like,
yeah.
they're old couches. They were a gift from my parents, like, years ago, and I was just holding on to them.
They
They
shouldn't
work.
have made it upstairs. They should have made it upstairs.
It
I don't
was-
know how.
Yeah. It was me.
bad.
It was me, him, and my girlfriend at the time, and carrying these things.
So is you and Mo, and
Yeah,
she's guiding you guys.
She had a lot more than Mo.
Yeah.
Actually.
Hey, in my defense, I got stuck. Okay, I got stuck trying to push up.
So it did get stuck. So I had to slide down the stairs on my back, and then like ram it up the stairs to get it through the wall.
It fucked up the whole wall.
Yeah.
So we did have to fix the wall, but
Yeah.
it's fixed.
On the first day you're moving in, you're
First
already
day.
fucking
First
shit
day,
up. Yeah.
fuck shit up. Yeah.
So let's talk about you guys as like DJs then. How is living together help that?
Honestly, like we do bounce some ideas off each other, like music wise.
I think venue selection too. Him
Yeah.
coming to town. One thing I told him never really to sacrifice is like what you want to play.
Yeah.
Like it really, you have to meet that balance. So I think him being able to come to me and be like, "What was your experience here?" And I'm like, and me knowing he's a little bit different than me in style, everything like that. I don't play Hannah Montana, but
Hey, if the girls like it,
it works.
yeah,
It works for you, man. It works. But it's something. I think it does almost make me feel. I mean, I'm older than him. 10 years.
10 years.
10 years older than
Old
him.
as fuck.
But like, if I can relay that information to people coming in and make their job easier, like you're not going to be happy playing something you don't want to play. But that meme that 75% of DJs play music they don't like is very true.
Yeah.
Like, we all have what we lean to, and it takes us 3 hours to build a room towards that direction, and a lot of people don't see that. So, getting to relay that information, DJ pools was a big one we've talked about. So, like, you had,
I posted like an Instagram poll a couple of weeks ago, asking DJs what they usually spend on subscriptions.
Like how many pools they have?
Yeah, and like I'm spending $250 a month, and I thought that was like the average price and everything.
Yeah, Luna, don't worry about us. Yeah, we're not recording or anything.
I thought it was like the average price, and he goes, "Holy shit, that's way too much." But
Yeah.
I'm like, I use Rekordbox, Club Killers. What else I use? A Headliner,
you had a bunch. BPM Supreme.
BPM Supreme, just like different like Tidal for like more music and everything.
Yeah.
So like every month it just takes $250 out of my bank account. I'm like, it helps.
The
It
good
works.
thing is that's obviously like office supplies, necessary
Yeah.
subscriptions for the job. It is, but
Write-offs too.
Yeah.
yeah. Write-offs is a big thing. So like the big, I mean, we kind of discussed earlier is you run into a lot of them are going to put out the same mixes across the same board. So like, what are you really getting the true value? So it became, how can we support each other in music discovery, music selection, just kind of prepping certain playlists. So obviously, I mean, I'm a Rekordbox guy. Hi, sweetheart. I learned on Serato, but obviously going into Rekordbox at the time were smaller screens, not the new, beautiful laptops we have on 3000s. So on those smaller screens, some of them weren't touchscreen as much. Just like, for searching, and it's not an iPhone touchscreen. If there's something on that touchscreen, it's not working.
Yeah.
It's completely fucked. So it turned into, how do you sort playlists? So mine, I have I've had to reset my USBs before for having over 1,000 playlists because you start getting into genres. Well, now I want situational specific, but now I want energy specific. And I mean, I've been sent some tracks that are from some of the top DJs in the world, and the way they label their tracks, now I'm like, I got to go through and redo mine. You know, like it's a whole different level than what I do. But what I do now is different than what he did.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
also is different than what you do when you're directly starting out. And
Which
learning.
then can help because then you're obviously giving them insight on how to do it better.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, that's like our job as open format and, club DJs is to read a room. So situational and energy based things are going to speak volumes over if you're looking for something in a moment. And like, if your mind, people don't realize like what your mind may be going through when you're DJing, because I like to think 4 or 5 songs ahead of time. And if someone requests a song and I'm nowhere near it, I'll get you there, but I'm not a band. Like, it's not going to be the next song.
Yeah.
I'm a big advocate of the prep kit. Like, obviously using Serato, it's like I'll just Command P everything. Like, I'll be going through, I'll scroll past them. I'm like, oh shit, that might work in 2-3 songs, and just throw that in the prep kit. And then same thing with playing sticks. Like, I'll fucking tag list everything. And then you can just kind of go right to that tag list. But
then your tag list is as big as your playlist.
yeah. But even still, like talking back to those older CDJs too, just being able to efficiently have everything organized that way you can get to stuff quickly. So you're not sitting up there like, fuck, there's 30 seconds left. Like, what am I about to play?
The spinning loading.
Yeah. The little loading dial. Yeah, that'll fuck you up too.
And you're like, this is it. This is it. This is the music's going out right now. And you're like waiting, and it says 1.5 minutes, and you're like, okay, well now I know I only have like 30 seconds, and you haven't changed the screen to what it should be. So please come on.
So have you downgraded your record pools? Or you still at 250 or what?
I still 250.
Yeah.
I still use them just because like there are some same songs on each record pool.
You're
but
very versatile though. Like you play everything from weddings to like clubs,
frat parties, clubs, yeah, pretty much
bars
everything.
in Memphis to Broadway. Like those people need to understand those aren't the same.
So
And the record pools aren't the
Memphis and
same either.
Nashville is completely different.
Yeah.
Like completely music taste.
But also, like you play a hotel pool, you play a hotel different than a hotel rooftop, different than a hotel lobby. It's
like what I play at a normal college club in Memphis is nowhere near what I could play here at a pool gig or even at Whiskey Row. You can't play no EDM in Memphis. They hate EDM. Like I hate to say that, but like even a little house remix of a song,
It just doesn't go off at all.
like that side piece. What is it? The
Millie one.
yeah. You play that in Memphis, and they're gonna be like, "No, play the original shit. We don't want to hear this."
Yeah.
Like they don't want to hear no EDM in
Lil
Memphis.
Wayne is good though. I do like Lil Wayne.
Oh, Lil Wayne, yeah, Lil Wayne's good. But they also hate Lil Wayne because of all the
Yeah.
Young Dolph stuff. So I'm not gonna get into that.
Which you probably love him being from New Orleans. So
Yeah, I'm from New Orleans, so I am a big Lil Wayne fan.
Yeah.
Well, that's something he's had to deal with that I think a lot of people get in the DJ space don't realize is if you have to open for said artist, and a lot of these people do have, territory issues and beef. Like the last thing that person's gonna want to hear is someone else's track being played before they're out there.
Last time I played Memphis, it was Young Dolph's 1-year anniversary of him dying, and I didn't realize when I booked it, but I was like, all right, I'm gonna do it. And some guy kept asking me to play Yo Gotti, and I was like, bro, I can't do that. He goes, why? I was like, bro, you know what today is. I can't play Yo Gotti here. Next thing you know, pulls a gun out in the bar, and dude from behind just hits him, and a full-on fucking brawl just goes out. And I'm like, so what do I do here? Security gets the dude, grabs the gun, kicks him out. We just kept DJing. It was like around 11
like
o'clock.
fucking nothing happened.
Yeah, it was 11 o'clock.
It's
We kept going.
sad to think that that's a regular thing.
Yeah.
Too. At least it was just handled.
Like if it happens to Memphis, just keep DJing. If it happens here, that's not normal.
If it-
That's
I mean,
not music.
honestly, if they didn't have good security here in all the bars, we're in Tennessee, man.
I'm honestly surprised that more places don't like wand or like metal detect. I get like the whole just like pick your shirt up.
It's an image thing for a lot.
Yeah, 100%.
But also, you can hide stuff. Just
that's
put your
what,
shirt up.
and that's what I don't understand.
But
Like,
also, people are going to get in whatever they want. I mean, because a lot of these bars, they may wand detect in the front or they may pat in the front, but they have open windows that somebody could walk by and hand something.
yeah, with like garage doors or
Right.
windows.
So,
Yeah,
I mean, more of, I think in Nashville, it's Second Amendment, like these country people, like, you can't tell me I can't take my gun. Sir, it's a bar. You can't drink and
Come
have
on.
your gun. Like, come on.
yeah.
So, Those are, two different markets for you. So
Yeah,
I guess you just have to hit. I mean, your music prep is all over the board.
So I haven't played Memphis since then. So I just
But you play Alabama pretty frequently.
I love Alabama. I go there once every 2 weeks, either on a wine Wednesday or game day. I just got done doing Texas versus Bama. Man, that's probably one of the best nights ever. Just
not for Bama, but
even though Bama lost, just the vibe, the atmosphere, everybody that was there.
Yeah. So what's it like playing Tuscaloosa on a game day?
It basically, I woke up around like 9 to like just see how game day is. Everybody's up by 7 a.m. ready to go. Everybody's drinking. Everybody's partying. There was the Home Depot game day trucks out there. Barstool's trucks was out there. I got to meet Dave. That was actually cool as hell.
Portnoy?
Yeah.
What?
So I ended up DJing last minute the Barstool stage because DJ's laptop overheated, and we went to go get my stuff, and I just like played a couple of like Alabama songs, Sweet Home Alabama, They Stand the Light. He walks by, just waves at us. Nicest guy too. He was cool. And then we went back over to Galette's to get ready. I started at halftime, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a Bama fan. I'm not a LSU fan.
Well, that was your first game day, though, right?
What? That was my first game day.
It was the one they lost.
Yeah, first one they lost. So,
mood changes real quick.
Which is, I'm not saying it's Mo's fault because he's an LSU fan, but it might be his fault.
What color did you wear that day?
I wore maroon. Yeah, I wore maroon. Like I was like, I didn't wear Bama.
See, that's why I think you're smart. Like if you're playing a Bama bar.
Like I won't wear Alabama, but I'm gonna wear y'all's colors.
Yeah.
I'll do that. But the owner walks up to me and goes, "Hey Mojo, I don't care what you do. You gotta get this crowd going." I get on stage and I probably said "fuck Texas" like 30 times to get the crowd going. they fucking loved it. They were all cheering, "Fuck Texas."
That's fucking all you gotta say. Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I think we're good to go.
I think we're ready. Yeah. Yeah. That's fucking crazy. I see like the pictures and videos of bars down there, especially on a game day, and it's just
so. My collective group of guys that it's more about just creating a creative space for the city. We went down and played a show at Rounders because one of them was from there, and it's right across. And if anything in this city had the production that Rounders had, I mean, it felt like a club. And you're in Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Yeah.
And you leave and there's nothing else going on. And
because they're just the only spot that people go to.
Money in this production, but it's a spot. It is a fun, amazing time, and they had Loud Luxury there.
Yeah, Loud Luxury on Friday.
I mean,
thank God it wasn't a Saturday night.
Yeah,
I know you've talked about it before, but we just don't have venues with the modern production in it. So when it gets into talent buying and throwing these shows here, then it starts getting into how much overhead to make it work with these artists and the prices.
So what do they all have production wise? Are we is it LED wall? Is it the lighting?
LED walls on the back, on the roof, a million lasers, spotters everywhere, full fixtures, rotating, everything.
Yeah.
Just stuff. I mean, you see minimal amounts in Nashville, kind of,
That kind of stuff makes a big deal with a night.
If you're just, a big difference,
yeah, if you're just in a bar and either they don't turn the lights down properly or they just don't have lighting at all, it makes such a big difference. Whereas here in Nashville, I feel like so many places have an AV guy.
I mean, it's the same as sound volume. We're contributing to the ambiance and the environment, and it's obviously a high stimulative based environment. So you don't want anyone to have seizures, but you want it to be you want the most movement possible in that room.
I want to be as close to a seizure as I can be without having one. Yeah.
I don't think I can make those jokes because of Jerry.
But having somebody to time the lighting and stuff for drops, having CO2, having fog machines, hazers, and all that kind of stuff.
And that's the weird thing. Moving from Memphis to here, Memphis used all like what you just said, all these lasers, fog machines, everything. Here, I don't see that no more.
If here it's become, there's people anyway. I mean, any given weekend, there's 100,000 people on the street. People don't realize how big Nashville, not how big Nashville is, but just the strip. You're from New Orleans, Bourbon. How many bars on Bourbon hold 1,000 people?
Not that many.
How many on Broadway? Almost every single one of them. I worked for a venue recently, and I mean, I actually went to work for this venue in order to kind of try to elevate the DJ pay that we've all had to deal with. You know, like elevate the market, grow it. So I quit DJing, put it on the side, and anytime something broke in the venue, it wasn't about the best option was never remotely an idea. Like it was just like, what can we do? Like Band-Aid,
to get by
Band-Aid,
with, yeah.
Band-Aid. Yeah. And I mean, I don't work with this venue at all anymore. So it's just like, it's something, I mean, I think the customers are owed. I've always been somebody like I'm based around the experience. And that's the way I was raised, because I was raised in just a hospitality business where you have to be proud of the product going out on the plate. Mm-hmm. And so I think as a DJ, like we want to be, we all want to play the best venues, but if you're a customer, like you want the best experience. Like I want to be contributing to somebody walking in and being like, hey, this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. Like I'm never going to forget this moment, you know? I think that's all of us though. Like that's part of being creative. Like you want to be memorable in a way, but.
Which I think goes back to obviously things that you guys talk about where you're able to give them that guidance of maybe not working at some of those venues that aren't really giving the best experience,
aren't elevating you, aren't gonna like push you to be better at what you can do.
Yeah.
Well, there's one venue we don't mention, but you and I both worked at it. Just I'm not gonna say the name.
That's just it's just. But you don't even have to mention venues, because there's a lot of them that come to this city, and this city does have a heart and soul. It's not just a print. It's not just to print the same blueprint that somebody else is doing and try to do it.
But it's also the way you bring yourself to all these other venues. Like you can't just come in saying that you're better than everybody else. Mm-hmm. That won't work out for you in the future.
No,
I can't cook. I'm gonna say that right now. I can't cook for shit. He's always trying to get me to eat pork, and I don't eat pork, so. Tell me I'm lying.
Wait, like you won't eat bacon?
Tell me I'm lying.
You are lying. I stopped you from eating pork on my birthday.
I know it's pork.
I literally said that is chorizo, which is sausage, and you said, and I had to slap it out of your hand.
Yeah, I can't imagine not eating pork. If I had to go like without bacon.
Frozen pizzas. Try frozen. How bad are frozen pizzas? How bad are frozen pizzas without
We don't eat together every single day.
We don't, though.
So I told him, hey, you can get your own stuff. And I don't care if it's pepperoni or bacon. I'm not going to eat it.
I'm like trying not to eat a whole pizza.
And also, I want to eat more Italian stuff. He's fucking Italian. Let's cook Italian dishes.
Again, good, dude. I mean, yeah, we can use chicken, beef, whatever you want. But again, if you get into Italian dried meats, that's my bread and butter, and it's all pork. Mm-hmm. It's all pork. Salami, pepperoni, capicola, prosciutto, all of it's all pork.
We could do turkey pepperoni, turkey bacon.
It's not the same.
It's
nowhere near the
same. He said turkey bacon's the same. I was like, that is one I will.
Yeah,
I'm a real bacon person. Like I'm not a big bacon person, but there's a distinct difference between turkey bacon.
1,000%. That's blasphemy to say that turkey bacon and regular bacon.
I think turkey bacon is as good as real bacon, and I've
had
real
a
bacon
liar.
on accident.
That's a lie. It's nowhere near the same.
No comment.
But no, I mean we don't eat at the same time. It's that, but that's fine. That's just living together. So
what are the arguments you guys get into?
Mo, get up, let's go for a walk, let's go to the gym.
Okay, no, that hasn't been an argument. He goes golfing almost every day.
As he argues with you about it.
He goes golfing almost every day.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, that's his thing. I don't golf, right? I either run errands or I play video games.
Run errands
or play video games. And his argument is about instead of playing video games, come watch a movie. I'm like, it's the same shit. We're both going to be lazy doing it.
Yeah.
But I agree. But I ask you that late at night, not at 2 p.m.
No comment.
I mean, you do beat my ass in Madden all the time, so it's fine.
And FIFA.
And
FIFA.
FIFA 22, 23, I hold the record.
23 bullshit.
Okay.
The last 2 times we played, I beat you.
The last few.
Okay, then.
Because all you do.
Because you stopped playing. Thank you. Thank you.
These are the roommate arguments.
But I'll say this, though. He got me back into Call of Duty.
I've never been a Call of Duty guy.
He wasn't because he's in the army and he's scared of it.
I'm not
I don't want to.
Yeah, I was actually a little afraid to play Call of Duty after joining the army. I'm just like, damn, I don't know if I'm ever going to get deployed and have to actually see this shit in real life. Yeah. But I got over it. It was kind of cool getting to play Call of Duty with all the DJs from different bars and just managers and bartenders.
Yeah, I think
everybody.
a lot of people. I mean, no, I support video games absolutely because in a way, like that's how it got a bunch of us through COVID.
Yeah.
Like that's the only way any of us could be social. That's actually what really introduced me to like people downtown. Was I was playing with employees left and right of downtown. So like that was a real easy way for me to be social. But also during winter. I mean, I think Nashville slows down enough for all of us, and we all get some type of seasonal depression that you have to have that escape, and that's still a little bit of a social skill that doesn't involve being out in 20-degree bullshit weather. So,
but also playing Call of Duty with him, I'll be upstairs in the game room. He'll be downstairs on his like monitor, and we both have headsets on. Right? It gets quiet after he dies. It gets quiet. And he runs upstairs, starts yelling at me. He's right fucking there.
because no, I'm not quiet. I'm literally like, Mo, look left. Mo, he's there. But also,
I look left. He's not there.
You've been playing with like other people, and you drive 30 seconds into the red zone and die from
That
suffocating.
was a one-time thing. Come on. That was a one-time thing.
It clearly says like turn around and there's a timer, and he's got people in the vehicle,
Okay,
and he's still just driving them the wrong way.
That was a
into
one-time thing. The truck got stuck. I couldn't come back, and I was like, "Yeah, we're about to die." We all died. So
That's great.
How did you go about getting into the Army? Because when did you join the Army?
I joined in 2018, August 26, 2018.
Okay.
So you're almost done.
How long do you have to stay? Yeah.
6-year contract.
Okay.
Joined the reserves, and this is my last year, so I got less than
Damn.
a year left.
You're
yeah, we're gonna celebrate on that
back to being
one.
a free man.
Yeah, I'm a free man after that.
Yeah. So what made you join?
Honestly, just I was my second year in college. I was talking to this girl, and things weren't going out for the past 2 years. And like we would fight, break up, get back together, fight, break up, just over and over again. And I just said, "Fuck this! I need to do something better in my life." And I joined the Army as a little like.
Why not the Navy?
We'll get there. I joined the Army as more like a, hey, fuck you, I'm gonna go do something better with my life, right? But I still was in Memphis until August, January to finish my semester out. And the worst part of all that was Thanksgiving, having to tell my parents and all my uncles, everybody, because I kept it a secret from all of them.
Yeah.
We're at Thanksgiving, and everyone made their made their like announcements about, hey, I'm pregnant, hey, I'm getting married, all this stuff. So everybody sits down and says, hey, I got an announcement.
This is a way different mood.
And my brother goes, oh, fuck, who'd you get pregnant? And my mom goes, you got someone pregnant? I was like, no one's pregnant. We're good. And he goes, what's your announcement? And I was like, January 2nd, I am leaving the basic training. I joined the Army. And it just got quiet. And I'm holding my plate, too, like, cheers, everybody. Got quiet. My uncle goes, oh, so you can go kill your own people? And I was like, oh, and then it just got, everybody's arguing, everybody's yelling, are you fucking stupid? Like,
Nobody started laughing when
no
he
one's
said
laughing.
that?
Everyone's just fucking going at it,
No
right?
one thought it was a joke though. Either.
No,
Like
no one thought it was a joke either. Like everyone's just like serious. Like so my face is
like
like
knowing you, I'd have been like, shut up, Mo. Like
my face is like a strict like I'm serious right now, right? And it's just everyone's just yelling, arguing, bitching about it. So I was like, you know what? Never mind. Took my plate, went to my frat house, ate Thanksgiving there, just had a good time over there. But it changed. Everyone's mood kind of changed over time.
Yeah.
They realized it's probably gonna be a good thing for me. Let him do it. It'll teach him a lot of new things. Mm-hmm. Back to what Reese was saying, why I joined the Army over the Navy. I was in the recruiting's office or recruiting parking lot, and I saw the Marines, Navy's, Air Force, the Army's office.
I think it's funny how they put them all like right next to each other.
It's like what the Coca-Cola machine principle. Like if there's one there, it's like, do I want a Coke? If there's two there, it's like, which Coke do I want?
Yeah.
So,
So I like that. But I'm in the parking lot.
I didn't
I'm
make
like,
that up.
I'm
It's
like,
a real thing.
I'm like, what am I gonna do? Like, this is it. I'm gonna go sign my life away. What am I doing? So I can't swim. So Navy Marine was already out. My name is Muhammad, so I was like, Air Force probably be there when it worked. And I was like, damn, that girl's kind of cute. She walks into the Army's office. I was like, that's my sign. I'm joining the Army. And I've been
So not only were you joining the Army because you were breaking up with a girl and wanting to get away from her, but then you literally saw a different girl go in and just followed her.
I was 19 at the time too, so like 19. You're not fully like there.
19 a virgin. Like
Yeah, there you go. 19
Yeah.
virgin. Yeah, there you go. 72 virgins waiting for me in heaven. We're good. My unit is getting deployed, but they didn't have a slot for me open. I was like, okay, cool. I'm cool with that. And they're like, well, we can put you on a different deployment. The only thing you got to do is just re-enlist. I was like, what are my benefits? Like, what do I get?
Yeah.
And they didn't offer me what I wanted. I was like, yeah, I'm good. Like,
Yeah.
you sure? I was like, yeah, I'm good. I'm not trying to re-enlist again.
Because what would you have to do? Like, is it a whole nother contract?
Yeah, I would have to sign up for either 3 or 6 years. And basically, the job I have, I'm a fueler.
Yeah.
The way I got that fucking job, the recruiter was like, hey, so what do you want to do in the Army? I was like, I don't know. He goes, what does your mom do? Works at Hooters. What does your dad do? Owns a gas station. You're going to be a fueler.
I don't even know what the fuck a fielder is.
fueler.
Oh, fueler.
Yeah,
so
fueler.
Oh.
So basically, I just like take care of all the fuel and oil and the trucks and everything.
Yeah.
Because his dad owns
basically-
a gas station.
So I'm basically
Yeah.
a gas station on wheels. So I'm like, all right, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
But last time you came home, didn't a truck run out of gas like right in front of you?
I was
Oh,
in
didn't you
charge.
put that on your fucking Instagram?
He's
yeah.
the fueler.
Oh,
that was the
okay,
best
hold on,
part.
hold on,
Yeah, it was like
hold on.
6 hours to get home.
So this is what happened. They put me in charge of my group getting back from Indiana to Memphis. So the first thing I asked everybody, as a fueler, is everybody going gas? The next gas station we're going to stop at is 110 miles away. Everybody's good. Everyone said, yes, yes, yes. Let's go. Not even 10 minutes outside the gate. Truck runs out of fucking gas.
So what'd you guys say to the driver? Because I'm assuming everyone's got to like drive and like stick
Well,
together.
it was a higher rank than most.
It was a higher
so-
rank. And I ended up getting in trouble for the way I spoke to him. I was like, what's going on? He goes,
Like, you're the dumbass that didn't fill your shit up. And then literally I asked everybody.
Yeah, it's one of those things where hierarchy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I lost my shit on him. I ended up getting in trouble for it. I told you about that. And
Yeah.
just had to do some push-ups for it. I was like, hey, I'm cool with this. Fuck it. If I get to curse his ass out again, I'll do more push-ups.
Yeah.
Let's go. So, yeah, that was a fun time. Yeah, the Army is it's an interesting, what can I use? Club. I'd say club sport, honestly. There's times where we are busy the whole weekend, 4-day weekend, from 5 a.m., 6 p.m. working. There's times where we're not doing shit besides just wait to go home. Mm-hmm. So
I feel like just being in any branch of the military would just be scary of not knowing like what's going to happen if you're going to get deployed or anything like that.
Yeah.
And that's just would be like the biggest worry.
that was the scary part. Like, it was just back and forth. Because at first they said you're not being deployed. Then they go, hey, we still need 30 more soldiers. You're being deployed. Then they're like, we don't need you. So like, you can.
So you're going back and forth of like, fuck, do I need to go? Do I
Yeah.
not need to go?
Yeah. So like, finally when they told me if you're not gonna re-enlist, then you're good. I was like, all right, cool. I'm not re-enlisting. I'm not going. We're good.
Yeah.
I already gave you guys 5.5 years.
Yep.
I don't need to give you guys no more.
The whole agency thing you were referring to earlier, that's something people have to learn to deal with in Nashville because it's a little bit different than the way other cities operate, you know? And that's just because these venues aren't running one DJ. Like, these venues are running 4 DJs a day, but they also have 5 bands coming through each floor. Each band has 5 members in it. Each one requires them bringing in their own equipment. So it's kind of a lot. It gets overlooked, like, how much is really going on here, you know? It's... So
That's what I think the hardest part would be is that's why I think like the biggest difference with having an agency is needed is for more specifically for the bands
Right.
than the DJs. But if you're looking at a venue like a Whiskey Row, they're probably booking 60 to 100 artists
overall
a week. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's nonstop, and just the amount of communication. A lot of the bandwidth for that was created in order to like. A lot of that bandwidth was opened in order for the restaurant and hospitality companies to focus more on the point of service for the customer and everything like that. But it still runs into exactly, you know, what you discuss of it's a different operation. There's obviously so many moving parts that things can get lost in communication. And I think that's something like the companies we've worked with, they're trying to develop, but it's also so new. And then these venues, I mean, Nashville's just changes so much. Like some gigs are there forever, and they probably will be there forever. But you go in seasons like Nashville can be 100 during summer, and people want to be outside all the time,
On the roof,
or
yeah.
don't want to be outside all the time because it's so hot. So, people start cutting day shifts back in the middle of summer because it's 100 degrees outside.
Yeah.
Or like during winter, like we have all these rooftops now. So like every building has a rooftop on it, which usually has entertainment. During winter, you lose that entertainment for a significant amount of time.
But honestly, like you said, though, you said some bars that have a club and rooftop, the club level is kind of like the hardest spot to DJ in the summertime when
That's Whiskey Row.
When
Like, I
everyone
think-
wants to be on the
I
rooftop.
know I've told that for some of the openers. I'm like, hey, if you get discouraged, like, just keep working. We'll keep pushing at it because, like, you have to understand it's air conditioned. This building's 100. It's rebuilt, but it's 100 years old. You can see the brick. That's the same brick you see on the other side of the wall, outside, pretty much. Like, it's just like if it's 75 degrees during the summer at night, any one of us would rather be on the roof in 75 degrees than in a club that is,
Yeah.
getting a little hot because
Yeah.
everyone's moving around, or there's 300, 400 people in there dancing their asses off. So there's just a lot of things I think you have to take in. And I think for us, for me, when it comes to like openers, like I told you, like the first time I saw you play that time on club, it was just like, it was amazing. Great shit. Same music I play. So like in my mind, I'm like, the whole time I'm like, can't play this one. Can't play this one. And I'm like, but I also have 4 hours after you, So like 3 hours, the only people still in there are the tables. Like the floor's probably flipped once or twice.
Yeah.
By that point. So, but for me, that pushes me so much better because like downtown dealing with tourists, like there's songs that are gonna work every single time. Coming out of COVID, we had a funny group text going between a lot of DJs of No Hands got requested today. No Hands just got requested. And it was a bunch of us saying No Hands was requested no matter where you were, what you were doing. It was just, that was one everyone was expecting to pop in, a request box. So it's about that balance. And like the good thing about Whiskey Row and those venues is they do let us push our creativity and our artistry side. And everybody is a little bit different. So finding people to gel with, and I mean, I don't want to, like, no one's burned me because I want to build energy from
That's literally what I
whatever
was just going to say. Is I was going to be like, well, hopefully I wasn't fucking burning.
No, not at all. Because I look at it as I'm going to push, you are pushing me to push the energy in this room because as a team, we are trying to build the energy in this room for this company and this brand because those bartenders are relying on us to keep those people going to the bar. So I tend to, try to build up the music and take down the music because no one's going to dance for 45 minutes straight. Like,
and that's what I think a lot of people don't understand is like you can't just go fucking hard for 4 hours. Like there's peaks and valleys, and you need to reset the floor.
You want that emotion in a set anyway.
Yeah, and you want to reset the floor too, where it's like, all right, cool, give these people time to get off the dance floor, go get a fucking drink and spend money. Yeah, exactly. Instead of just like staying on the dance floor for 2 hours and then they just
and that's
leave.
like sometimes what you run into at the late at night because I mean, luckily we're later. How late's Milwaukee run?
2:30 on Friday and Saturday, but then it's 2 all during the week.
Really? So like, I mean, you have other states that run late than us, but Tennessee's still one of the later ones.
Memphis runs to 5 a.m.
Yeah.
I'll be DJing Tin Roof from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m.
Well, that's like Chicago will go till 5 too. Yeah.
Nothing good happens after 2:30.
Well, I mean, at some point, a lot of them are on something and they stop drinking, or like they go find other things to do because they've been there for 6 hours. But you run into it sometimes. Like if you had the energy going really strong and people are into it, the last 10 minutes, 20 minutes of being open, people aren't spending money. They're just kind of like standing there dancing, which is great for like us. And we enjoy that in an environment, but like, you're still trying to get them to spend money. Like our job is we're part of this business and part of this scene and growing it together. And the only way it's going to grow is if it keeps improving. So it's about timing. I mean, you're starting to play. You've been here long enough, and you've played these gigs. Like, if you play a daytime gig, like I've played the 6 to 10 at Whiskey Row on Sundays. It's one of my favorite ones. Sundays, people are coming off a hangover, so they're like trying to baby it, but it's really easy to catch people in a rhythm, and you can build with that. But also, what happens at 7 o'clock across the world most of the time? People go eat. So like I start at 6, great energy coming off Logan, Seago, Diesel, whoever's been there. And it'll just be, I'm prepared to lose some, but I'm also trying really hard to keep these people entertained coming out of the flow that Logan, Diesel, Luke, any of them were playing. So you do that, and then you expect to lose some, and then like the more you get into it, you're like, oh, it's busier than normal. Oh, it's holding on, or oh, this is a different type of crowd. And then I think this last Labor Day, I played club level on Sunday from 9 p.m. till 2:30 a.m. And it was the most progressive house, fun electronic set I think I've played in a very long time. And it was like playing bangers, and they're singing over the melodies. Like they're not singing just the vocals; they're singing the melodies. And I was like, this is different. This is fun. But that's also, I think, what we run into, like at Whiskey Row in general, is people coming in. They're like, I've been looking for this music all weekend. Like I don't want to hear country. Only country. So it's an exciting spot, and we get to do a lot with it. It's about, but it's about growing. So, the more we can put people in positions to develop and give what the business wants, the more it gives them a chance to be successful. Because when I was involved with booking and anything, the biggest priority for me was kind of integrity, business relationships, and just the way people are professional and handle themselves. Dog yoga over here. And
Luna's got to get her stretch in.
Yeah. Well, that's what
trying to navigate this.
That's what Apollo does. Apollo's like,
Apollo's like all attitude. He'd be up here staring at everybody. So. But it's that's for me when it was about that. I was putting people in the right position to succeed, because the only way they're going to be happy is if they're getting to relay their artistry the way they want to, but also the business is getting the product that it wants to display, and Brick keeps the customers there.
And that's what I think Whiskey Row does so well is still giving you the freedom to play a lot of music, like not really putting you in a box as a DJ saying, hey, don't play this, don't play this. Like I've never had management come up to me and tell me to not play something.
But you are also smart enough
to
and that's the problem, is a lot of people will come in and they might see a 10-minute segment where you are going off the rails, ripping something out of your excitement and happiness, and that's all they see, and they don't see how you got there, that you have gotten the crowd to a point that you feel comfortable playing something like that. Some people just go in and rip whatever.
Yeah.
And also being able to like get out of that too if you notice that
efficiently
it doesn't fucking work too.
Exactly.
But yeah, I just always love venues that actually give you the freedom, and you don't necessarily feel like you're being like micromanaged, because then I feel like you're like hesitant as a DJ, like, fuck, I don't know if I can play this or not. Where it could be a song that you could have played and it could have worked really well, but you don't play it because you're worried that like management might yell at you for it.
It's also a 2-part system, because like you don't want to put yourself in situations that you're going to try to avoid those. And the older I get, the more you realize it's about like good energy and putting yourself in the situations to succeed. So being prepared, working on it, and then you have that opportunity and you handle it better than you intended, you're probably going to get a call back.
Yep.
Like very likely. And if not from them, someone there saw something, or like we said, we're in a small social city where people talk enough that, oh, did you hear he played great? Like, oh, I've seen you before. You played great. Like, so people just need to realize when you're getting into this space, you're becoming your own product, and your product always has to speak for itself.
Yeah, absolutely. And that goes in a lot to your own branding and marketing and taking the right gigs that help you as a DJ too. So,
and your music interests, everyone's different. So like for me, it's really hard to judge other DJs. Like that's why I kind of just try to stick to more technicalities, because like everyone views it different. Like I have the people I click with because we have the same music
similar taste. Yeah.
And then like there's the people I'll end up, doing back to back with for 10 minutes. And it's like, oh, you mix like me. Or like, and I'm somebody that taught myself or watched on YouTube or something like that, And there's just so many different ways to do this nowadays. And you have producers, you have DJs, you have turntablists, and you have influencers turned DJs. And all of them can be successful across any part of the board. But one common thing is social media and social media presence. So like you just have to build that brand and build it the way you want it. Because that is something that gets lost in the music business too, I think. When you get higher, we're not dealing with it, but there are people that are told what to put out and what to do.
I just had Landis on the podcast, and that was one of the things that we talked about was him as a producer being on Don Diablo's label, having his own label, and pushing all of his music and how important social media is. And then we kind of talked about even being authentic on social media, where I feel like so many of these guys are like pushing an image for themselves as their brand,
Right.
or as like the DJ brand that they want to put out, where that might not be even close to who they actually are as a person. But on social media, what they're pushing or what they're being told to push by labels could be a completely different image, which is kind of wild to think about. And that's something that he's like, yeah, I want to be as authentic as I can to people, but he's like, I definitely know that there are people that aren't.
And
so,
I mean, there's also different levels of, audience attractiveness, mainstream, like different levels of an audience. Obviously, any type of production or kind of like creative project is going to have to appeal to. And it's how much do you want to go against what you want to do based on what they want to hear?
Yeah.
Which is what we deal with a lot. All of us.
You want to say something at all?
No, also no. Wow.
This is honestly probably the most I've talked more.
Yeah, I was saying, yeah.
I was like, I feel like Mo hasn't said a word in 5 minutes. Well, what do you guys have planned? I mean, is there plans outside of DJing? Is producing something that you guys want to get into, or?
Yeah, I think I did it a little bit during COVID, and I enjoyed it. I've just always been more on the music side, growth side, and curating experiences, just because that's what I was raised in. And I feel, I mean, I went to school for history, and I switched to business to get out because my dad taught me business from the time I was born. I'm very fortunate for that. I'm still involved with the family restaurant, going to get involved more over time. So I think my goal, I've always wanted to be the guy that owns the clubs but knows how to DJ. Yeah. So right now, me DJing downtown keeps me very intact with what is happening in terms of growth, direction, but also being able to like, for a big one is I just want people to be able to succeed. Like, if you want to play house music, you probably need to play hotels. You don't need to play Broadway. Like if you don't want to play hip hop, like it sucks, but like Seago did that. He made that change. He was like, I'm tired of playing this. I want to play what I enjoy making and doing. And now he's killing the hotel game, you know, like, and those type of.
Yeah, I know. I heard him play at W at the pool party. And I mean, that's again, perfect for his brand of what he wants to do. Where he can just rip house at a pool and people will just vibe to it. You don't have to play any hip hop at all.
I think his favorite one's 679. That's as far as
really?
It goes. Every time. Yeah, that's what he always talks about. I played 679. I'm like, that a boy.
What about you, Mo? What do you got thinking in the future? Obviously, getting done with the Army.
Honestly, the Army's made me miss a lot of like opportunities. I had a chance to play Nashville SC's festival once, and I couldn't do it just because I was leaving for 3 weeks with the Army, and I'm just like, man, imagine all these gigs that I had to miss out. Not these like normal just club gigs, but like big shows like this that I had to miss out because of the Army. So once the Army's done, I'll have a little bit more freedom. But like down the future, I would hope to move back to New Orleans. I actually want to bring what I learned from Memphis and Nashville to New Orleans and be like, okay, I know what I'm doing. I know what I saw in Memphis. Memphis is more of a city like New Orleans when it comes to hip hop. Nashville is more of like the technician way, like how I learned about booking agents, how clubs work. And I feel like if you put both those together and someone knows what they're actually talking about and know what they're doing, it could benefit a lot of the bars and clubs out in New Orleans.
Yeah.
So
100%. Yeah. Yeah. Nashville definitely has, they feel like they know what they're doing as far as like the booking and everything goes. Like they've got it figured out to a science of, hey, we know how to fill all these spots.
Yeah, I think now it's just starting to become more of there's so much going on all the time. And it's just, it's not consistent because it's always changing. You know, like, oh, there's an event and a business calls and they're like, oh, I need a DJ. And like, as us, like, yeah, we'll take it. But like, it's always nice for us to know about it. I mean, surprise gigs like, hey, you got to play this one this week are always amazing. But like, it's always nice to prep and be ready and like know what you're going into. Because like, if you're playing after a certain event or anything particular, I mean, you want to have something in hand ready to go.
Yeah. Or at least
Like
know
Taylor Swift, like as much as I don't like playing it during her weekend, I prepped as much as
Oh
possible.
my god,
Yep.
that was the longest weekend ever.
Yeah, because you know that's what you're gonna get requests
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
everything. So
Absolutely.
And
I mean, all of us probably play a majority of the same edits. There's a few different ones out there, but all of us have different tastes in music, but when it comes to the music that we have to appeal on Broadway, it has to appeal to the masses, not just us.
Yeah.
So,
well, let's get into some rapid fire here and see what kind of answers we get from you guys. So first off, if you guys could party with one person, who's it gonna be?
You can go first.
Daniel Ricciardo.
Really?
Yeah.
The F1 driver?
Yeah. Very soon, actually. He's coming to Nashville, so we're gonna do
Oh.
something at Whiskey Row with him. So it's gonna be
Wait, is he with
Red Bull.
Okay. Well, yeah,
He
I
was
didn't
with
know.
McLaren last year, and then the whole AlphaTauri thing. Red Bull's doing a whole thing. He's teased it a few times, but we're gonna have a pretty good party from what I'm hearing. So
That's sick.
yeah, I'm gonna try to do a shoey with him. That's my goal. I met him at the Super Bowl, and I mean, he was hungover.
Yeah.
And he's like Australian, so I wanted to hear his voice. It just didn't happen. He was like, "I'm sorry, man." He's like, "I'm sorry, man. I'm just like out of it." And he
Yeah.
just like knocked me up, and I was like rooting for you. Went our separate ways. So if I can hear his Australian accent this time, I'd be happy.
Which then leads to doing a shoey. So
Oh, yeah, hopefully.
What about you?
You already know the answer to this one, but John Cena.
All right.
I've been a John Cena fan since I was a kid, and he would be the first person that comes to mind if I get to party with.
Does he even party? I feel like he's lost so much weight and he's like in shape.
I'm
Like,
not gonna lie, like during his wrestling career, he was so strict. He didn't do nothing. He didn't go out. He didn't party.
yeah.
I don't think he was even drinking. And then he got married 2 years ago and just let out. He parties, goes out all the time, and
All right.
drinks. Him and his wife. So
Hell yeah. So she got him back into the party, I
yeah,
guess.
I'm surprised, but I'm like, hell yeah.
What is more important to you guys? Is it being able to read a crowd as a DJ? What is more important to you? Being able to read a room, being a good producer, or being a good turntablist, someone that can scratch?
I'm gonna say reading a room. Just
Yeah.
because like you can be a great producer and have amazing songs come out that you produce, but like if the crowd's not digging it, then you're not gonna win the crowd.
And you can also, as a turntablist, like all that stuff of being a turntablist adds to the curation of like the energy throughout the night and the way you're flowing with your set and kind of like bringing it to the audience. But if you're reading a room wrong, that's going to be misinterpreted the wrong way. So, I mean, we've all seen good DJs go the wrong way, and it just clears a room really quickly. So it's got to be about give and take, a lot of it. And I was starting out when I was trying to build confidence. It was like, oh, I'm going to tease this progressive house song, or I'm going to tease this house song. But luckily house has kind of hit that, and electronic's it's top 40 now, a lot of it, you know?
Top 40 edits, basically.
Yeah. So I think all that adds, and it can build to it, but producing's a prep before the game. I guess that would go more into like music recognition and like kind of like element relations and phrasing through DJing and stuff like that. Because I feel like a producer is probably going to be a lot better at that than most people that just like go up there and throw this track next to this track. Don't phrase anything together. Don't look for any elements that are similar.
I definitely think as far as like a smaller stage DJing, reading the room is definitely the most important.
Yeah.
If you're trying to excel as a DJ and become someone that's being booked everywhere at major,
There's no question about it.
100%, yeah.
And it's like, that's something like DJing's never been my plan A. Like,
Yeah.
I love it. I love the people involved. Like, it's just an ambience, excitement, but I care so much about the music and about it being good music and it being a good environment and experience. Now, if you want to make it that level, it's going to take production.
100%.
Every bit. Because now you have, these house artists produce for hip hop artists, and now you have these long-term songwriters like S.G. Lewis is now stepping in the DJ world, becoming a DJ, and he's been a huge hit writer for years. Mm-hmm. So it's just something that's going to keep evolving and changing. But also, you can buy DJ turntables at GameStop, but also we're going to hit something. Avicii started at like 12.
Yeah, he did.
Martin Garrix's first hit at 16. If you don't think there aren't 7, 8, 9-year-old kids with parents giving their kids supercomputers and them learning how to produce on a DAW rather than playing video games every day, like it's gonna there's gonna be a 10, 11-year-old that puts out.
I wish I would have done that.
Note to self: when I have kids.
No, like I mean, if I would have got into DJing at a younger age or music production, like I wish I could go back now and do that.
It's same. If I would have, and part of I think all of us is going to be a frustration thing because you listen to music and you work with it, but then when it comes to you trying to put whatever sounds or image you have into a computer that quickly when you haven't put in the work to learn how to operate the DAW, it becomes a little bit of kind of like that.
It's just a foreign thing to try and figure out. Yeah,
very much when you look at it.
Yeah,
the first few times.
What is a song that you guys can play in every set? I feel like this can be a very different answer for both of you.
Roses by the Chainsmokers.
Okay.
Every time.
Is there a specific like edit or remix?
Yeah, I actually use a transition one. So I actually move around a lot, but that one I use for a transition because I'll take it from something house and probably bump it down to 100 mid-tempo hip-hop pretty quickly. And I kind of use that more as like a shock and awe transition. So I'll use a slam edit coming out of that 99% of the time because I love the way it sounds and it goes straight into Drake. And it's a reaction that it works every time. And I change it up and I try to move away from it as much as possible. But like, it's kind of like that endorphin and serotonin hook. Like you don't want the crowd to be silent. And when you get like those gasps where everyone just goes from, everyone knows the vocals to Roses. And then you do a slam drop into a Drake track. Everyone knows Drake. Like the amount of times you get requested Drake and you've played 14, 15, 16 Drake tracks over for 3 hours. Like, are you not in this room listening to what's happening? So I mean, Roses for me.
I'm going to be a little bit more basic. I'm going to go with Outkast, Miss Jackson.
All right.
I feel like you could play that at a hotel, pool, play that at Whiskey Rose Club. I could play it in Alabama. I could play that in Memphis. Pretty much play it anywhere, and it works.
I've honestly been playing that pretty frequently in my last couple sets and have gotten really good reactions every single time of just like...
Everybody sings it.
Let's let everybody know where they can follow you guys, Instagram, whatever you guys like to push.
Yeah, of course. My Instagram is just Recess. Anything about me you can find through there. I'm pretty active on story, posts something, still trying to figure out in a direction I want to take that.
I always post them on my story, so it's all right. Yeah, I always post funny shit of him.
I'm somewhere. You'll see some good images, I'm sure.
Honestly, you'll see us play football this season. This comes out in about
2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Yeah. So Mo went and got a Waffle House menu because he's our Andy Reid, so it's perfect.
Nice.
And we actually had to. We
recruited a Waffle House employee as well.
It was the only way they would give us a menu.
Yeah.
Because the Waffle House we went to is not open 24. Like, it's a window after 9.
It's in a bad area.
Yeah, so it's a window. And they were like, we'll give it to you if I can play.
I said, bro, hey, here's the link. I'll see you at practice. He came to
might
practice
end up being the
night.
best person on your team.
No, he was playing defensive back, and it's scary hearing him come
Look,
back.
my best player on the team, I already made my choice. It's probably going to be Brody.
You can't say that. You're one practice into being coach. You can't pick one.
I know.
Wait, you're not playing at all?
No, I'm coach. Fuck that.
He loves
I got the headset and everything. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go.
For a flag football intramural league?
Yeah, trust me. We're going away this year.
All right.
But Brody is probably going to be the best player. Come on.
Mo is like the oldest young guy who goes, like, who just, like, is social, hardcore FOMO, but, like...
What do you mean?
You're missing out. Like, you're always out. You always got to go see people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I got to go support.
That's not a bad thing.
Yeah, I got to go support.
It's not a bad thing, but then you also you want to coach.
All right, I'm coaching. I'm coaching because we need somebody to take charge of this team.
You got plays set already?
Yep. I got everything ready to
man.
We drew them up 2 nights
all
ago.
right.
Yeah.
Well, what's all your socials?
Mine's is the Mojoda on Instagram, Snapchat. People still use Facebook. Facebook, yeah.
Yeah.
Facebook's like LinkedIn nowadays.
Yeah. LinkedIn as well, same shit. Just follow me on social media. See
How
where
many
I'm playing
LinkedIns
at.
have you dropped on?
Not any at all. This will be the first LinkedIn.
Wait, MySpace?
MySpace, definitely not.
Does it exist?
Yeah.
I'll make one before
Yeah.
this comes out.
Well, thank you guys again for tuning in. joining us for another episode of the Platform Podcast. Thank you, Reese, Mo. We'll let you guys go back to the house and argue with each other some more.
A game tonight.
John Cena is better than the fucking Rock.
Thanks, Dex.
Make sure you guys tune in every Wednesday. You'll see these YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. New mixes on the Platform Mix every Monday. So if you like listening to new DJ mixes for the gym workouts, drives, anything like that, make sure you guys go check those out. I'm DJ Dex, MKE on all socials. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you, guys.
Yep.
Thanks.
See you guys.
Check. Mic check. 1, 2.
Yo, is this thing on or what?